All right, today we're heading high up into the Himalayas, to a place that is so much more than just a temple. We're talking about Badrinath, an incredible spot where myth, history, and just breathtaking geography all come crashing together.
You know, medieval travelers, the ones who actually braved the insane journey to get here, they had this perfect way of putting it. They called it a place where the gods descend in silence. I mean, doesn't that just give you chills? It perfectly captures the mystique of a place that feels like it's from another world.
So, that's the big question, right? What is it about this incredibly remote temple, just perched up there in the mountains, that makes it one of the absolute holiest sites in all of Hinduism? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack in this explainer.
To really get Badrinath, you can't start with the building itself. Nope, we have to go way, way back to its divine foundation. The legends here are, believe me, as ancient and as epic as the mountains themselves.
Okay, so the core story, the one everything else is built on, is the Narayan legend. The belief is that Lord Vishnu himself chose this exact spot to do some intense meditation, or tapasya. He did it in the form of twin sages, and his goal, well, it was for the welfare of every single living being.
And how the place got its name is just a beautiful story. So picture this, Vishnu is deep in meditation and a massive blizzard just rolls in. To protect him, his consort, the goddess Lakshmi, does something amazing. She turns herself into a huge Badrinath tree, basically a berry tree, and shields him from the snow. Vishnu was so moved, he named the place Badrinath, which means Lord of the Badri Forest.
Now this isn't just some local tale. No way! The holiness of this place is woven right into the fabric of the most ancient scriptures. We're talking mentions in the Vedas, the Puranas, the epic Mahabharata. I mean, its scriptural street cred is off the charts. The roots here run deep.
So, we have the myth. Now let's see how that foundation gets built upon in actual recorded history. Because the story of Badrinath is also a story about people, about their faith and their incredible endurance through the centuries.
This timeline gives us a quick flyby. You see the ancient mentions, but then look at the 8th century. That's a huge turning point. A philosopher named Adi Shankaracharya really brings it back into the spotlight. The actual building you'd see today was mostly constructed in the 16th and 17th centuries, thanks to the local Garhwal kings.
We really can't overstate Shankaracharya's role here. It was absolutely pivotal. He didn't just revive the temple, he had a bigger vision. He made Badrinath one of the 4 great Char Dham pilgrimage centers, creating this incredible spiritual map across all of India. It was a genius move to help unify the subcontinent.
And get this, to really hammer home that idea of unity, Shankaracharya started a tradition that is just fascinating. The temple is way up in the northern Himalayas, right? But the chief priest, called the Rawal, has to be a Nambudiri Brahmin from Kerala, all the way down in the deep south. It's this living, breathing symbol of north meets south, connecting the entire country.
And through all that time, Badrinath has been through everything. Seriously, invasions, devastating avalanches, you name it. But time and time again, it was rebuilt. Worship was restored. It just stands there as this powerful symbol of how incredibly resilient faith can be.
Okay, so let's shift gears from history to the setting itself, because at Badrinath, the geography is not just a pretty backdrop, it's an active part of the whole spiritual experience. The land itself almost feels like the temple.
First off, just think about the altitude, over 10,000 feet up. This is not an easy place to get to. The thin air, the sheer scale of everything around you, it immediately makes you feel like you've stepped into a completely different realm.
And the temple is nestled in this valley that feels like it's being divinely protected. It's flanked by 2 huge mountain ranges, named, you guessed it, Nar and Naran, after the twin sages. And rushing right past it is the mighty Alaknanda River, one of the main sources of the sacred Ganga.
See, every single feature of the landscape adds to the meaning. The remoteness really hammers home that feeling of divine seclusion. The huge peaks, like the stunning Nilkanth Peak, feel like cosmic guardians. And then you have the natural hot springs, the Taptkund, which are, frankly, a miracle. They provide life-giving warmth that makes worship even possible in that kind of cold.
So with all that context, the myths, the history, the incredible geography, what is it actually like for someone who makes this pilgrimage today?
Well, at the very heart of the journey is the main idol inside the sanctum. Now, what's so cool is that unlike most Vishnu temples where he's standing or reclining, here he's in a meditative yogic posture. Seeing that 1-meter-tall black stone idol is the absolute focus of the entire pilgrimage. And hey, if you're ever thinking of going, here's a little cheat sheet. First, timing is key. The temple's only open about 6 months a year to avoid the brutal winter. You can get there by road or by helicopter. A huge ritual is to bathe in the Tapkund hot springs before you enter. And the #1 safety tip? Give yourself time to acclimatize to the altitude. Seriously.
During its open season, the temple is just buzzing with life and festivals. The opening and closing ceremonies are these huge, incredibly emotional events. And throughout the months it's open, you've got celebrations like the Madhamurti Mela and the Badri Kedar Utsav that fill the whole valley with energy and culture.
So, let's pull all these different threads together. What is the true essence of this place? Well, it really is what we said at the beginning, a confluence of worlds. At the end of the day, Badrinath is just so much more than a building. It's this powerful point where everything converges. Ancient legends, the sheer resilience of people, the raw power of the Himalayas, and the deep personal faith of millions. And what's so amazing is how each part strengthens the others. The fact that it's so isolated makes it feel even holier. The legends give every rock and river around it a deeper meaning, and its long history of survival, that perfectly mirrors the spirit of the mountains themselves. Which leaves us with a final thought to chew on. In a place like Badrinath, what comes first? Is the land holy because of the powerful stories we tell about it? Or is there something inherent in the land itself, its majesty, its power, that inspires us to create these profound stories in the first place? It's a fascinating question, and a great way to think about what makes a place sacred.